Let's talk about self-publishing. So if you finished your manuscript and you want to go down the self-publishing route, this video is for you. So stop and stay, grab a cup of tea and your notepad, and let's get started. In here. I'm Kesi, your creative oracle, here to provide you with creative insights across multiple industries, as well as help you bring your creative idea to life. This video, we talk about self-publishing. There's two routes to this based on my own experiences as a published author. I'll be sharing as much knowledge and information as I can, but of course, Google is free and YouTube will be your best friend in this process. So let's get started on the first step, which is you finish your manuscript, and the next step is to find either a publisher who can help you self-publish, or we're going to do it ourselves. So I'm going to start off with the route that I took, which is going through a publisher and going through all the steps that I went through, and then offer you the alternative, which is to do it all yourself. And then you can decide what is best for you based on your budget, based on your experiences, and the time frame that you have. So I've been a published author since 2021. I published my book, A Guide to Life, African Proverbs More Relevant Today, in 2021, and sort of been on the journey of being a published author since then, being on the road, doing the markets, and having my book in stores. So I self-published through a publisher just because of the ease of it. Based off of doing it myself, I did research both alternatives and just found that the publishing route was the best route for me based on my budget, based on what I was capable of at the time, and how easy I found it to be. So going through a publisher, I found my publisher through a friend, Conscious Dreams Publishing. You can check them out, the link is in the description. And it basically is a publishing house who help you self-publish. You keep all your creative rights. It's your baby, it's your book. They just help you go through the process of self-publishing, such as setting you up on Ingram Spark, Amazon KDP, and setting you up with your distributors and marketing as well if you choose that service. So the first step is that you finish your manuscript. You then want to connect with your publisher, um, who will want to proofread your manuscript and look over it to see if it fits their sort of spec, if it fits their brand, their aesthetics and stuff like that, as most publishing houses do. I submitted a online form just about who I am as a person, what my book is about, and where we are in the book journey. And from there, I was able to book a consultation and talk about the next steps. So at the time, I didn't have my manuscript fully finished. So we set a deadline for it to be finished, which was September of 2020. And then we arranged a follow-up meeting to discuss the next steps. So the next steps is to outline the fee, so how much it's going to cost to get your book self-published for your publisher, and set up a payment plan if they offer that as a service, and what needs to be done. So your manuscript is finished. The next service would be to set you up with your editor. Now there's two types of editing you can go for, which is just grammatic editing, where someone just edits the grammar. So that's what I went for. Editing the grammar. I didn't want you to edit my book itself. So editing would be, the other editing, sorry, would be sort of in terms of storytelling, structure, and narrative. Because my book is non-fiction, it has some storytelling elements, but it's mainly non-fiction. I didn't want the structure, the narrative, the storytelling part of my book to change because it's my personal stories, it's my personal way of speaking. I just wanted the grammar to be edited because I do struggle with grammar. It's something I've always struggled with since school. Turns out I may have dyslexia. That's another conversation for another day, but it makes sense. So I booked for this editing in terms of grammar, and this is a separate person who will edit your book for you. So you have a Word document where your book is on, and it's structured in the Word document as it would be as a book, and you basically share the editing part where you can see where someone's editing something. You can sort of tag along with the editing. They'll leave notes, so this needs to be edited, can I edit this, do you mean this is the correct punctuation here, and you basically just go through confirming all the edits that they've made. And once you're on an agreement, you probably go through this process about 2 or 3 times. Once you've agreed with all the edits, that then gets sent back to your publisher, who will then take you on to the next step, which is onboarding you onto, I lie, the next step is actually your front cover design, back cover and front cover design. So again, this is an option. You can either do it yourself or work with who they have on their team who does front cover and back covers designs. I'm a graphic designer. Me being me, I do have a tendency to sort of be a control freak, and I had a vision of what I wanted my front cover to be, and I wanted to do it myself just because I had spent so much time teaching myself graphic design for my brother to save costs for future ventures, that I thought, you know what, I really want to design this front cover. I know what I want. I know the sort of color scheme, the aesthetics, the sort of animated style that I wanted, and decided I wanted to do it myself. But also having the backup option, having a graphic designer on the team, if it doesn't work out. But this is what I was able to do myself, just using my sketch pad, using images from Pinterest and designing other elements as well and piecing it together on Canva. The back cover is basically the same, just took out the sun and the hands. We just have the sort of horizon and the hills. Um, and that's all done on Canva as well. With your publisher, you'll also work on your fonts. So I went through hundreds of fonts trying to find this right font here for the title. I'm not even being dramatic because I knew what I wanted for. I didn't really care about the inside of the book. I just wanted a simple. I think it might be Laura or Georgia text on the inside, but I knew that the front cover I needed it to be like a handwritten paint stroke type vibe to match the sort of traditional aesthetics. So we went through so many fonts trying to find the right font, and I finally settled on this one. I just saw it and I knew that was the one. And then we both agreed and we went forward with it. And on the back of your book, you have your synopsis as well, which is like a breakdown of what your book is about. You can just write this yourself based off what you've been pitching. Or now that ChatGPT is a thing, you can actually use it to write that for you as well. In your book, you'll also have your author's bio and your sort of introduction. So make sure you have that already in part of your manuscript, like your acknowledgements, which I have here, your thank yous, who do you want to thank. Contents page is something that you would also add in with your publisher. Preface is like an introduction, telling about what the book is about, and then obviously your author's bio. And I'm trying to find it. I put a little poem at the back and my author's bio here. So once your manuscript is done, these are some of the elements that you might want to add in prior to your publisher or with your publisher who would oversee that as well. And then I basically sent that to my publisher. Once she approved it in terms of the resolution and things like that, I was then able to piece together the book in terms of the front cover, the back cover, and then you start your onboarding process. So this is the first part of your onboarding process, is to get you signed up with Ingram Spark, which is your global distributor. They handle all your distribution, the physical copies of your book, and you being able to order your book wholesale. So if you wanted to sell it yourself in marketplaces on an online website, you would place your order with Ingram Spark, and they will send it to you basically. So I'm going to outline the steps of onboarding you onto Ingram Spark. This is information that you can use if you just want to do it yourself. Then you can use it here. So step 1 is to create your Ingram Spark account and fill in all your bank information and tax. You then want to go to add titles and select the title you want to be published, an ebook, a paperback book, or both. And then once you've selected which type you want to do, it will take you to the next section where you need to make sure your manuscript is finished. You've got your print design, your front cover, your back cover, and everything that needs to go. And then you add in your information about your book and a description and the tags here. Once it's been approved, you can place an order for wholesale and also set yourself up on Amazon KDP. Then once you are set up on Ingram Spark, your publisher will work for you to get you onto Amazon KDP. Amazon KDP is your online Kindle book, as well as some physical copies as well. I believe they do offer that as a service. So I'll outline the steps of getting you onto Amazon KDP here. So again, create an account and add all your personal business and your bank details. Then go to create a new title. Select if you want a Kindle ebook, paperback, hardcover, or series. Just like Ingram Spark, add in all your information about your book, the title, the author's name, the author's bio, a description about the book, the tag, so the key search terms, its target audience, and if you want it to be pre-ordered as well. And it's basically the same sort of concept of Ingram Spark as just for Amazon. You also want to set up your Amazon profile as an author, which will include your bio, your SEOs and your tags. Please make sure you do your tags properly. Basically, it's about what is your book is about and find those keywords that link to your book. So my book is like spiritual guidance and advice, self-help, well-being, traditional African proverbs, Africa, Afrocentric, Black history, Black culture. Those are some of the keywords that I would have used in my tags on Ingram Spark and on Amazon KDP as well. And you can probably see that on my Amazon page as well. Now, another service that a publisher might offer you is marketing and distribution. So helping you market your book to wider audiences. If you can afford it, I would definitely recommend that as a service. That's a service I didn't take because I couldn't afford it at the time, but I know it would help me so much. If you can't afford marketing, social media, Instagram, TikTok, and LinkedIn are your best friends to get your book seen, to get your book heard, and where you can do some storytelling about your book. You can also use AI tools now to do some visual pieces as well, which I do recommend, just to help people be enticed. As soon as your book is on the pipeline to be published, I would start your marketing from then, do some BTS behind the scenes of getting the book published and showcase the processes, or just start the storytelling about your book, what it's about, the artwork, and where people can find it. So by the time you're ready to publish and launch your book, you've got a key audience ready to go and they can follow you along the journey. Another key step is doing market stalls and events, which I highly recommend you doing. There's so many opportunities across London if you're in London, in the UK, but globally as well. There's so many opportunities to do pop-up stalls, pop-up events, book events. Whatever you can afford to do, sign yourself up, or put a portion of your income from your book sales into doing pop-up markets. It just helps you get a wider reach, instant sort of cash in terms of selling. And yeah, you can do a lot of content on that day as well. People reading your book, signed copies of your book, and things like that. Another key thing that I also want you to think about is merchandise. What merchandise, what products can you sell alongside your book after that first 2-3 months, to keep your audience engaged? So I started selling bookmarks, crafted bookmarks that match my book. I started making these graphic prints of the lessons within my book and selling those alongside the book as well. I sold mugs. I also created a journal which hasn't been published because I want to redo it, and it's a whole process for another day. But think about what other merchandise tools and things that you can sell: pens, bookmarks, calendars, whatever it may be, just to help you sort of really have a solid product and a solid market that you can tap into to keep this thing going. Especially if you want this to be your sort of full-time or part-time career, and keep that income flowing. These are some of the things that you should think about on a wider scale. It's not just about the book. You're building a brand, you're building a business. So how can this be something that grows and flows consistently throughout the year? So for those of you that want to self-publish, as in do it all yourself, same steps, just without the publisher. So you finished your manuscript, you want to make sure that you have your preface, your introduction, your author's bio, and your synopsis already as part of the package. I would then recommend reaching out to someone on Fiverr to edit your book. I'm not too sure about the pricing, but there's people on there that do book editing, writing editing. Those are services that they offer. You can also reach out to a graphic designer on Fiverr as well to design your front cover, or if you have the skills to do it yourself, you can do it yourself. You can also use AI tools as well to help you design in terms of an outline of doing it, and then hand it over to an actual graphic designer to do the full piece, which I do recommend. Don't get AI to do the whole thing because you can tell. Not that it matters, but to some people it does. It's up to you about saving money and stuff like that. You then want to set up your Ingram Spark profile, which I showed you before. You're going to do this yourself. Fill out all the necessary information about your background, what your book is about, your full manuscript, front cover, back cover, your tags and SEOs, your tax information, your bank details as well. And then you can decide if you want to do Kindle or physical copy or both, and then begin the onboarding process of your book to make sure that it matches the sort of structures that they require and where you want it to be distributed and the fees and stuff like that. Same thing with Amazon KDP. Set up your account, fill out the necessary information, your tax information, your background information, set up your passwords and your security, your bank details. If you want to just do a Kindle book or paperback as well, or both, and the type that you want to do, your SEOs, your tags, your bio, your author's page, distribution information, and things like that. You could do that all yourself. And then you can sort of activate your accounts and begin sort of distributing your book yourself, doing your own marketing again through social media. And it's basically the same steps. It's just basically about, I'm all about ease. So I would recommend going through a publisher to help you self publish based off of ease. If you're thinking about the budget and your budget, cost up your time. Let's just say a base rate of £15 an hour. Cost up your time. How much it's going to take you to finish that manuscript, do all the necessary stuff that you need to do for Amazon KDB and Ingram Spark, plus distribution, marketing, things like that. Cost up your time, and then cost up how much it is for a publisher to do that for you, and see what the difference is. If the publisher happens to be cheaper, then save up your money, take some time, save up your money, and distribute with your publisher, because it just saves you the stress of having to do this all yourself. If you're happy to do this all yourself, then by all means go ahead and do it. It's not a problem. I'm all about soft life and ease and less stress. The less stress it is for me, the better it is for my spirit and my soul. But those are sort of the quick steps that you can take to sort of get your book distributed. Like I said, key things you need to think about is marketing and distribution. How are people going to see your book? How are people going to get your book? I do recommend building a website as well. Another key thing that you need to think about is your pricing point. What price is your book going to be marketed at? Now you need to do research about what your book is about and what the target audience is, and what the other books in that target audience range are priced at, and use that as a model for your book. Now, before even sort of publishing my book, I knew my book was going to be priced at $9.99. Not because of the market that I was in, but because of numerology. $9.99 is all about endings and new beginnings. Like, for example, this year, 2025 is a year 9. It's all about shedding skin. It's all about new beginnings. My book is all about endings and new beginnings, ending of your old self in order to bring in a new self, thinking differently, thinking expansively, and stuff like that. So $9.99, it was the number I wanted. $9.99 is the number I told my publisher. Even though Amazon priced at $14.99, which I respect Amazon, I was upset because I was like, no, it needs to be $9.99. Eventually, it went down to $9.99. But think about the pricing of your book. Make sure that your book is affordable, but not at a cash loss to you. So you got to find that sweet spot. My book is affordable. It's not a big book. I think $9.99 is great value. And considering the work that I put into it, I'm happy with $9.99. When it was on my website, I sold it for £10 plus delivery fees, so it was about £12 to £13 in total. I kept probably £11 of that money, but obviously with Amazon they do take a higher percentage, so you got to factor all these things in when you are setting your pricing points. Also, think about your launch. Launch day is a very good day to get your book out there. I launched my book during lockdown, so I wasn't able to do a physical launch. I did an online launch of about 20 to 30 people on Zoom, talking about my journey. I did a giveaway as well and managed to get a load of pre-orders in as well because Amazon do pre-orders, so you can do pre-orders before you launch and then launch and do giveaways and then get people to buy your book. So there's so many ways to do it. The most important thing I want to say is do not rush this process. There's no rush. There's no rush at all. Take your time, do as much research as you can, use Google, use YouTube to help you understand the back end of publishing a book yourself or going for a publisher, and also the front end in terms of marketing, the steps you need to take after that. How do you build a brand off of this? Because this will help you sort of have a long lasting author's journey. You don't want to fizzle out within the first 3 months or the first year. You want to keep it everlasting, because having a writing credit as an author in general will get you into other spaces and help you expand your work. Even if you want to write more books, get into the film scene, get into the journalism scene, having a good solid first credit as an author will be really beneficial to you. So you want to make sure that you've got enough reviews, you've got enough feedback and enough things to build up, a good foundation to build up of. So think about that as well. But in all, it's not a hard process, but it is a tedious process. So like I said, choose the way you want to go. If you want to go through a publisher or if you want to go through doing it yourself, either way, you keep all your creative rights. It's all your work. It's just about your patience level. It's about how you want to sort of how you want to go through this process. It's up to you. So it's all things to think about. Overall, I hope this video has been helpful, and if it has, drop a book in the comment section below, like this post, subscribe to my YouTube channel, The Creative Calling, follow us on TikTok, and please do share so other people can get this knowledge. I'm Kesi, your creative oracle, here to help you bring your creative ideas to life, provide you with creative insights and industry need to knows across multiple industries that I've been in and all the experience that I have to share. Look out for my next video, stay tuned, and I'll see you in the next post.